Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video I'm going to be doing my Shop My Stash for the month of June. So typically how I do these videos is I will take you guys along with me to pick out the products, and then after that I will try everything that I picked out on my face. So that is why my face is very bare right now. So yeah, if you want to see what I will be using for the month of June, then please go ahead and stick around. Alrighty, so I'm over here for my makeup now, and of course the first thing we do is pick out a palette. So for those of you who don't know how I pick out my palettes, I give each of my palettes a number, and then I will just randomly draw them, because that helps me decide, because I'm indecisive and I have trouble picking out palettes. So the number I drew this time was 19, and the palette is Storybrooke Cosmetics, and I've actually never used this one yet. So I'm excited about the selection this time. So here's the palette. So this is what I'm going to be using the month of June. Alright, so now that my palette has been selected, I'm going to go on to foundation, which is over here. Sorry if it's a little dark in here, guys. It is so cloudy today, and when it gets cloudy, this room just gets kind of dark, and no matter how many lights I have, it still always looks a little dark. But yeah, so I think for foundation, I'm going to use this e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation. I haven't tried this one yet, so this is in the shade Snow. Alright, and then just moving on down this way, I'm going to pick out a setting spray next, and I think the setting spray I'm going to pick is the CoverGirl Outlast Active Cooling Setting Mist. Haven't used this one in a while. And then for primer, I'm going to pick my Nemesis, and I say my Nemesis because I have been trying so hard to use this up, and it feels like I never make a dent in it, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this one again and really try to work on finishing it up. It's a good primer. It's just, I've had it for a while, and I don't know, I just want to feel like if I'm using a product a lot, I want to feel like I'm using it up, and this one just feels like I don't do anything to it, but I'm going to pull this one. Okay, normally I would go straight to brow products, but I think I'm going to actually keep the brow product that I picked from last month because I just want to use it up. It's getting old, so I'm going to pass that for this time. Then I'm going to go on to mascara. So here is my mascara drawer, and I actually think I'm going to pull this Hank and Henry Slick With It Mascara Duo. Then for concealer, I think I'm going to go in with this 16 Hour Wear e.l.f. Camo Concealer here in the shade Light Sand. Then back over here, I'm going to pick some lipsticks. So here's my lipsticks. I think I'm going to pull this ColourPop one in the shade Bikini Bottom. This in kind of brown nude color. Then for liquid lipsticks, I think I'm going to pull this Manna Carter lipstick in the shade Lip Whip Faith. Alright, and then for gloss, I think I'm going to pull out this new Wet n Wild gloss. This is a lip gloss in the shade Tipsy, is the shade name for this one. Alright, so that's all the products for here. Now I'm going to move on down to my drawers for more face products. Alright, so for face powders, I'm going to pull this Becca Hydra Mist Setting and Refreshing Powder here. I don't have a ton left, so I'd like to use this one up. So I'm pulling this one. Alright guys, and then normally I would go down to like my bronzer, highlighter, and all that good stuff, but I recently picked up a face palette that I really want to try out, and it has, so the face palette I'm going to try out is this Cheek Star Reunion Tour. I just recently picked this up. I bought it myself, and this one has a highlighter, 2 bronzers, and I believe these 2 are blushes. So that's why I'm not going to go through my blushes and everything, because I already have everything in this one palette. So yeah, I'm excited to try this one out. Alrighty, I think that is everything. I think that's everything, all the products that I'm picking out for this month. So let's just go ahead and get on into the trying on part now. Alrighty, so I have everything picked out now. So I'm just going to go ahead and start doing my makeup. I'm pretty happy with these selections. I feel like I say that every month though. Honestly guys, I do have quite a bit of makeup that I haven't ever tried out. Either stuff I get from BoxyCharm or just stuff I purchased. So I feel like this is a great way for me to really set aside the time to try out the products that I recently got. So I have a couple of new products in here that I haven't tried out, so this will be my first time trying them out. But I'm going to go ahead and prime my face with that No Problem Prime Essence Touch and Soul primer here. I feel like I didn't say what it was when I pulled it out, because this is a product that I'm familiar with. So apologies for that I didn't tell you guys. I'm such a bad beauty guru, didn't tell you the product, but whatever. So it's very watery, but I do feel like this one is one of the more hydrating ones when it comes to primers that I have. Alright, so now that face is all primed, I'm going to move on to foundation. And again, I'm using the e.l.f. Flawless Satin medium coverage foundation here. Haven't tried this one out. It's supposed to have a satin finish. And again, it's in the shade Snow, which, how do I get this off? Alright, so it's in a squeezy, or a pump, which I like pump foundations. I think this will be the right shade for me. You know how I am when it comes to finding my shade. Sometimes I do really well, sometimes I don't. But hopefully. So this is supposed to be a medium coverage. But it does have a fragrance, so if anybody who doesn't like fragrances, you might not like this. I wouldn't say it's like a heavy fragrance though, it's very light. Alright, so I'd say this coverage is very light. I'm still having like trouble covering up some red spots over here, and even though I've been building it up, it doesn't seem to be having any more coverage on it. So I would definitely say this is a light coverage. I wouldn't say that it's a medium. But I do really like how it looks on the skin. I think it has a good finish. It doesn't make me look overly dry. Of course, when it comes to like some dry patches, that does accentuate it, but that's not uncommon for me to have foundations do that. It's just really hard not to find a foundation that does that. But on the other parts of my skin, the parts where I don't have dry spots, it actually looks really nice. And it feels pretty nice on the skin. Like, I don't really feel like I'm wearing anything. So I would say this is a very good lightweighted foundation for sure. But if you're wanting something with a lot of coverage, I wouldn't suggest this one. Alright, so moving on to concealer. I'm going to be concealing with the 16 Hour Camo e.l.f. concealer here. And I'm going to try to use this to kind of hopefully add a little coverage to where the foundation wasn't covering it. So just some red spots I got over here. And then of course under the eyes and everything. Alright, so now that I'm looking very pale, I always look super scary before I finish up the face. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and set my face using that Becca Hydro Mist setting powder. I've used this one before, or several times, so it's a good powder. Even though I kept it closed up, I think it did kind of dry out because it doesn't feel cool anymore on the face. It just feels like powder. It used to feel wet when I would apply it to the face, but it doesn't anymore. Alright, moving on to brows, I'm going to continue to use the Milani Easy Brow Automatic Pencil Crown in the shade Dark Medium, or Dark Brown. I picked this out last month for the month of May, and I'm just going to try to continue to use it up because I've almost got it done. So I'm just going to do my brows real quick. Alright, so now that my brows are on, let's go ahead and get into this blush and bronzer and highlighter palette here. I'm really excited to try this out. I did spend a pretty penny on this for sure, but I thought it was worth it considering how much it came with. And I had been wanting to try out these two bronzers for a while, and I had heard many good things about this highlighting shade here, Cookie. So I went ahead and spent the money. I might just combine these two together, the Hoola and the Dallas one here. I might just dip into both of them to bronzen up my face. So let's just try that and see what happens. Hopefully they're my shade. I think Dallas has a little bit of a more redder tone to it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I think blending it out with the Hoola kind of makes it a little bit cooler toned. I have some really bad dry patches over here, and I'm having trouble covering them up. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright, and now for blush. I don't know if this one's a blush or a highlight. I don't know if anybody has this palette or has these shades. Is Georgia over here, is that a highlighter or is that a blush topper? So it's kind of shimmery. I don't know. It might be a highlight, but I don't feel like it's like blinding enough to be a highlight. Like it's not very reflective when I swatch it. I swatched it over here. See, it's not like blinding or very highlighting like, so I think it's a blush topper. I don't know, I think I'm going to go into Sugar Bomb over here and just kind of swirl that around and use that as the blush. Oh, it says on the back here that Dallas is a blush. What? I don't know if that's correct. It's a blush bronzer? It's a bronzy blush. Well, that might be explained why it has kind of a red hue to it, or a bit of a reddish hue. Sugar Bomb's a blush, Georgie's a blush, Georgia's a blush. Okay, so Hoola is the only bronzer, technically bronzer in here. So that's interesting to know. I just thought that Dallas was a bronzer, but that's okay. So I went in with Sugar Bomb, and I think I'm going to go on over it with the Georgia, just a little bit. I feel like I put a ton of more blush on than I normally do, but that's okay. Alright, and then to highlight with the shade Cookie here. I guess I could swatch it real quick. It's a very pretty highlight. It's very blinding. And for those of you who are curious, I paid $60 for this, but I think the like overall value was supposed to be like $100 and something. So I think it was a decent deal considering, you know, just one of these I think is like what, $30 maybe. Alright, so I think face is done. That highlighter is very, very stunning. Alright, so now moving on to the eyes. So I'm just going to go ahead, come up with a look real quick. I don't really know what I'm going to do. That's pretty normal for me. I never know what look I'm going to create. So afterwards I will tell you guys what shades I used. Alright, so I finished up the look. So what did I ended up doing was I use this shade here, Woodland as my transition shade. I went in with Briar Rose as like, don't know what you would call that. I did the overall shadow shade with this one with Briar Rose. Then I deepened up the corners here with Grim. And then for the shimmer shade, I used Enchanted. Now the mattes were all very pigmented and very creamy. And so was Enchanted, but I did notice that the sparkles are falling. Like, I had a bunch of fallout under my eyes, and then when I went in to use Grim as like the eyeliner shadow, I used it to kind of give myself an eyeliner look with the shadow, that it was knocking loose a lot of, I guess, the glitter in here. I didn't realize it had glimmer. I thought it was just a shimmer, but I guess the glitter is kind of, I wouldn't say chunky, but it's bigger than I am used to, and it's just, I can just see it falling down. So I don't know how long that this shimmer shade will look like this. I don't know if it's just going to keep falling throughout the day. So that's a little disappointing that it's not very creamy enough to kind of stay to my eye. It's just kind of, I guess, chunky, I guess. But it still looks really nice, and it was easy to apply. It's just, you have to be careful with fallout. Alright, so now that the eyes are done, I'm going to go ahead and do put on mascara, and I'm using the Hank & Henry mascara. So this one does have two ends here. You have one very tiny brush on one end, and then on the other side is a thicker one. And then of course you have the thicker one for the upper lashes. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. Which I do really like the wands on these. Even the top one is it's thinner, so it's easier to get all the lashes. And of course the other one is just super tiny. Alright, so mascara is on. I really like this mascara. It makes my lashes look really long. Maybe not volumizes them the most, but I'm not a big fan of like huge lashes. I like them more lengthy. Alright, and so not last, I have one more step after this. So next I'm going to do lips. And I'm not sure which shade I want to do. I think I'm going to do the nude one. So I'm going to do this Bikini Bottom, this ColourPop lipstick here. It's the Sephora Nigard. I'm probably really butchering that, but it's like the Halloween collection lipstick. I don't know how to say her name, but it's in the shade Bikini Bottom. Alrighty, and then last but not least, I'm going to set my face with the CoverGirl Outlast Active Cooling Mist Setting Spray. Alright. It does not have the best mister in the world. It started out kind of very misty, but then, I don't know if it got clogged or something, but there's a couple of big droplets that came out. Alrighty guys, and that is everything. That is all my picks for the month of June, I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to using these products a lot more. I have to say that although I do really like this palette, I'm not crazy about the colors in here. These are just not colors that I'm gonna use a ton of. But I mean, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna see how I like it. But I don't know, when I was doing my makeup just now, I just wasn't really thrilled, unfortunately. I think it's a beautiful palette. It's just I don't use blues very often, and there's 3 blues here. And I don't use purples very often. That's 3 of them right there. This one I did actually really like. Looks more, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? I really like the palette, but I just don't know how much I'm going to actually use this, to be completely honest. I might end up actually passing this on later on. I don't know. I'm going to give it a month. I'm going to see, if I fall in love with it. But first impressions, I don't know. The quality's good. It's just not my type of palette. There's not enough shades in there that I actually, reach for. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if any of these products here are your favorites and what you guys think of the products that I picked out for this month. But yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also like this video if you like seeing these types of videos. But yeah, other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will catch you guys on my next video. Bye!